So this $30 million AI e-commerce store is facing some heavy heat right now. And I'm not just talking about like a little bit of heat. I'm talking about every single YouTuber that uncovers scams and also reviews tech is taking shots at this company. And what's really funny about it is that I actually covered this months ago. I was really early onto this company. I did a video 4 months ago talking about this AI Shopify store that did 1 million in 24 hours. And now they're doing over 1 million a month like it's nothing, mainly because of all this bad publicity, funny enough. So I want to talk about this, and I want to show or watch this video by CoffeeZilla that he just posted. He's coming back on YouTube. Again, I'm super hyped about that. 11 days ago, uncovering this $30 million AI scam. And the reason we want to watch this is because obviously I'm invested since I made a video about this before, but also it's actually a really ironic thing, but these scammers tend to be really clever when it comes to building their businesses or their scams up. So there's actually a lot of things that you can learn from a growth marketing or growth hacking perspective, but obviously don't learn any of the negative, scammy stuff and unethical things because those are going to get you in trouble. But the positive things are actually really worthwhile to pay attention to. So let's see what this is all about.
The Rabbit R1 is a tech product that has raised tens of millions in venture capital, promised the world, and delivered on almost none of it. Worse, though, it's built on a scam that the founder is now trying to distance himself from. But, hey, where are my manners? I'm trying to be more positive in 2024. So let's let this company introduce themselves at least before we say anything negative about them.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jesse, and I'm the founder and CEO of Rabbit. This is the Rabbit R1. I can speak or type with R1. I can also use R1 to call a ride. I can also use R1 to order food. I can also make R1 to a set of more complex actions. For example, if I want to plan a trip to London, I can just describe what I wish in full to R1. You can order the R1 now at rabbit.tech. And we are shipping Easter 2024.
Well, there you go. That's not so bad. You got yourself a standard tech guy in a black shirt promising the world Apple keynote background. What could go wrong? Oh, and I guess it's past Easter 2024, so the product should have shipped. So before we talk about the scam angle, let's briefly check in with Tech YouTube for how this AI assistant is assistanting.
The thing that you get at the beginning is like borderline non-functional.
Book an Uber to LTT Labs.
The rideshare status is currently unavailable.
Get me a ride.
Ooh.
Apologies. The Uber ride request couldn't be processed.
What is this?
You are holding a taco.
Oh, that's not good. I could give them a few less.
You know, it's funny because Twitter went so crazy over all the tech YouTubers just shitting on this product, which I thought was a terrible take because if you make a bad product, people have the right to criticize it. And despite their cries, I mean, Rabbit.tech is, crying in a Lambo, basically. They're printing money off of all this publicity. So that's kind of funny.
Lessons on positivity. Turns out, basically everyone in the tech sector tag teamed this product for being non-functional or plain wrong about things that Rabbit said the R1 could handle. Things just weren't working. But what if I told you that wasn't the biggest scam? That this company is built on something much worse. And now that I've been so cheery and positive, let's go down the rabbit hole and see what's under the hood. Yes, it's a bunch of rabbit jokes.
That was a good pun.
The first thing we need to do is go to their webpage. The R1 is created by something called Rabbit Incorporated.
See, this is the first lesson you can learn from this potential scam is like their branding is beautiful. These guys really know how to do good branding. They must have an amazing design team.
But this company has a strange history. It was originally registered under a different name, Cyber Manufacture Co. In fact, they changed their name 2 months before their official announcement. And it turns out that name change is pretty significant because Cyber Manufacture Co. wasn't just like a shell company or the same company under a different name. They had separately raised venture capital for a completely different project. Not AI, it was for NFTs. Now, before you laugh, remember this is 2021 when people took NFTs very seriously. According to a press release, the project...
Let me know if you were around in 2021 for the NFT bull run, because that was pretty crazy. People literally would dish out 2-3K for pictures of animals that are literally worthless now. Pretty crazy times.
It was called Gamma, and it was at the intersection of gaming, community ownership, and Web3 buzzwords. What does that have to do with AI? Well, not really much. Conversely, Rabbit today also sort of wants nothing to do with crypto. Their founder, Jesse, announces for Rabbit, "Let me be clear, quote, we will never touch crypto. Never."
Honestly, that's kind of a smart move because crypto went downhill very, very fast after 2021. But it's making a comeback now.
Okay, well, that's pretty strong, but given their whole past is built on crypto NFTs, it's a little strange. Now, when Gamma is brought up, Jesse doesn't really deny that he ran the project. He sort of makes it sound like it was no big deal, just kind of a thing of the past. Quote, "Gamma was a fun little project I was involved with during early COVID time. My main work is to build a Unreal Engine 5 space station themed game that I later open sourced. Yes, Gamma released NFTs, and I bought a bunch myself just for fun. Never trade, never released any token or crypto coins, and I left that project once the game was open sourced." Well, there you go, haters. Case closed. It was a fun little multi-million-dollar project he did. He just built it on Unreal Engine. He may have sold a few NFTs, but he bought a few NFTs, so, it's not a scam. Please don't look into this. Please do not look into this. This is not a scam. Oh. Some people may have looked into it. First, Emily Shepard, and then the writer and podcaster Ed Zitron jumped in the fray with a great article. Now, I spoke to Ed, and he told me a very different story than Jesse about this Gamma project.
It's so weird, and it's the same company. And in 2021, they raised this $6 million, and then Jesse Liu, across several hours of Clubhouse that I subjected myself to, promised the world and more.
Now, I have to say, promise the world and more is slightly inconsistent with fun little COVID project.
True, and it's also not uncommon for a lot of these tech CEOs that, they promise the world and more. They have a grandiose vision of what their tech is going to allow, the world to do in the future. And a lot of times it's just sort of vaporware. It's not really gonna come to fruition. Perfect example is actually this. I had no idea that Rabbit.tech used to be an NFT company and had dabbled into that world. I can only imagine the promises that they made there, because most of those projects had insane roadmaps that basically guaranteed like universal basic income by the end of it and things of that nature.
So I decided I needed to listen to these recordings of Jesse talking about Gamma myself back in the day and find out who was really telling the truth, Jesse or Jesse?
I don't want to make Gamma, or none of us want to make Gamma as a hype and dump program. This is a legit team with millions of dollars of fundings behind. Basically, we're dumping millions of monies into it just to make sure that it will be a next level experiences.
Okay, I have to admit, it definitely sounds like Ed is right. This is sold as whatever the opposite of a quick NFT hype and dump project is. And this is where things get much weirder.
So NFT is only just the beginning, the very beginning of this. We probably think that the NFT part will only take, no more than 20% of the entire weight of this entire Gamma project. So after NFT, we have this huge groundbreaking ideas about Gammaverse. Then after that, we have this again, huge groundbreaking ideas about the clean energy versus Gamma coin.
Energy.
And that, the chances that Gamma coin become the first not only carbon neutral, but actually carbon negative crypto 2.0 or Bitcoin 2.0. I think that's completes the entire Gamma story.
Hopefully now you're starting to see why I think it's strange for Jesse to claim that Gamma was a fun little...
A Bitcoin 2.0. Man, that was a bit cringe to listen to now in hindsight, huh?
Project where he never released these tokens or crypto coins, when that's sort of what he promised. He told people he was going to release a carbon negative Bitcoin 2.0. And look, I know it sounds stupid now, but again, 2021 was a different time. And remember, Jesse had millions in backing. It's not hard to see how people took him seriously. He said it didn't matter how the NFTs did. He was going to execute. But where are those millions? You know, the money raised from customers. When the company changed to Rabbit, where did it go? Did it go to develop Rabbit, a completely different project? I don't know. I'd love to sit down with Jesse and find out. What I do know, though, is that so many of the promises of Gamma didn't happen. And this is relevant to the R1, not just because this project is built on the skeleton of that scam project. It's also because the R1 was overhyped in a similar way as a do-it-all device. But this same company isn't
He literally used that same template. Like, they just promised to be able to do a ton of crazy things with the Rabbit project, but almost none of it actually was accomplished.
Historyless company.
I do want to say, though, I do want to give this guy a little bit of credit at least because, I mean, he's good at thinking about a really big vision. He's good at executing at least the presentation of it. And that, you know, that's got to count for something, right? There's got to be at least some learnings that we can take away from that.
They have a history of abandoning investors like they did with Gamma NFTs. I mean, Jesse even told people who were worried about the NFTs, don't pay attention to that. You know, it's all going to work out. You just got to be a true supporter.
I would suggest for our true supporters, do not pay too much detail about the current NFT mechanisms because that doesn't matter. You know, like
don't pay attention. That's actually hilarious.
I can safely say that even if the entire NFT project completely failed, which I don't think that's the case, we're gonna still push the Gammaverse and we're gonna still push the clean energy and Gamma coin happen using our funds.
I cannot emphasize enough that was a lie. That never happened. The clean energy Gamma coin never got published or built or launched, even though Jesse said they were going to do it. They had the money. By the way, we all know it's vaporware, but I think it's important to really hear him sell it because this is the same guy who wants you to take him seriously when he sells you the future of AI. Take a listen to the whole vision really laid out.
Gamma coin, which is basically Bitcoin 2.0, that is 100% generated by clean energy. And we did the math, we did the calculations to where if you own over 1,800 milliwatts of clean energy generation, that means you will have extra generated electricity that you can donate back to city grid. So the general concept is, let's say if you own a Gamma NFT, that means you own the equal portion in valuation of your NFTs at that moment of that clean energy grid that we started building in the real world. That means you own that power, that portion of the clean energy solar panels that generates that power. And that means you own that power. And that also means that you own that portion of that power.
This is making my head hurt right here. This is just some wild, wild talk. I mean, I like the idea of clean energy and, you know, trying to do something with solar. I've been trying to get into the solar game lately from a lead generation perspective with Ecommerce, since we have such strong machine learning media buyers. But I've been studying the solar generation world a decent bit lately because of it, and I realized just how basically, I don't want to say impossible, but just so far out we are from something like what he's suggesting. This is wild.
And that power will be used to generate Gamma coins. That means you can earn your Gamma coins out of this entire clean energy cycle.
All right. Let's try to suspend our disbelief for a second here and figure this out. Basically, he's saying buying NFTs somehow would build a clean energy grid, which you would sort of co-own, which would make clean tokens, sort of the thing. And look, I know that sounds a little insane, but the funny thing is it's sort of the most sensible part of this project because as I learned, that wasn't even close to the end of it.
They were saying there was going to be a storefront on, I think, Fairfax Avenue across from Supreme in LA. They were going to do a comic book. They claimed there's a Discord
comic book?
Yeah, they said a comic book.
Well, that actually looks kind of cool. Again, guys, these people are actually so skilled at branding and, creating this hype. I mean, this is kind of random, but it looks cool at least, right?
A TV show, an MMORPG, and at one point, yes. And then Jesse Liu at one point said that the future of this thing you would control using your brain logic. It is insane.
Am I the only one who doesn't know what brain logic control is? Look, when I first heard this, I thought this cannot be right. This project is already crypto plus NFTs plus clean energy plus comic books. Surely they aren't going to wrap in AI as well, right?
The ultimate goal is that each NPC will be powered by AI algorithms, and then you will be interact directly with them using your natural language and your brain logic. I think that will be the ultimate goal. And when I say ultimate goal, I don't think that's like a 10 years plan. I think, in the next couple of years, we might just have a very good chance to achieve it.
Oh, he did. He promised it in 2 years. Okay, well, why not toss in AI to the buzzword salad? In fact, I guess it maybe relates it more to Rabbit. Maybe we do have the connection, right? The brain logic interface is the connection. I mean, why not just make it the Matrix while you're at it?
I mean, it surely is the Matrix to my extent and to the original concept of the Matrix that you will be reborn with your
Bro also mixed in the Matrix buzzword. Wow.
alter identity in this metaverse, and whatever you do in the real world matches the exact consequences in the digital world.
Okay, did this man just do the if you die in the game, you die in real life, unironically, while selling NFTs? The answer is yes. And my only follow-up question is, if you get scammed in the metaverse, do you get scammed in real life in this world too? Look, I'm not...
Well, if we use our brain logic, then yes, absolutely yes. That is so funny. Again, I don't want to seem like I'm a hater here or anything, but because I do think this guy is actually pretty smart, especially for being able to harness all this attention and come up with these grandiose visions and also execute on a presentational level at the level that he does. But man, this is just hilarious. CoffeeZilla makes such good videos. I miss this.
Here to stump for the bigwig venture capitalists who lost their faces on this. At the end of the day, these are both consumer-facing businesses. They got real people to invest real money into both the $200 Rabbit R1 and into this Gamma NFT project. Both are overhyped. One just already didn't deliver what they promised, while the other is working on fixing it. So, what can be done here? Well, for one, the minimum is that the Gamma NFT holders should be refunded the money they spent. I mean, this isn't even my crazy, wacky suggestion. Jesse suggested it himself in those Clubhouse calls.
And I better pay my money to collect your NFT back if you think this is just an NFT hype and dump project. I have to say that. So the communities will have my words. Anyone that is not envisioning the Gamma to the stage 2 or 3, just want to make a couple of E's out of stage 1, reach out to me. I will buy your NFTs. Okay, I will buy your Gammas and get the fuck out. All right?
All right. We'll take you up on that. Yes, I got a haircut. So I reached out again to Jesse about these...
Very clean cut and transition right there. That's crazy, though. I mean, I'm sure most people said things along those lines back in the NFT hype of 2021. And I bet 0.001% actually followed through with any sort of refund. But I bet also 99.9% of all those projects are basically worthless now, which just goes to show the mania at that time. Like, it was really crazy.
Refunds, but he didn't respond again. The Rabbit team did, though. They told me Jesse would not refund investors. The quote was out of context. The project was never abandoned. It was actually open sourced. What does that mean? Well, Rabbit claims the Gamma team delivered everything they promised in 3 stages. The one problem is the 3 stages they gave me aren't the 3 stages they promised. The metaverse, by the way, they said they created, too, is not a metaverse. It's an Unreal Engine project file that I downloaded to play. It's based on a starter game called Lyra. You can see the starter assets here. And the things Gamma did do made the game so buggy that it crashed every minute. But it gets worse. The rabbit...
But see, again, this is what I'm saying. This is the value in this video. It's not just for entertainment, but that's actually really smart to just take an open source template of a project in Unreal Engine and do something with it, right? Like you can actually take that and run with it in a positive, ethical way. And I actually want to touch on that mainly because I want to expand from e-commerce. E-commerce is obviously what I've been talking about for years and years and years, and it's my main competency. However, I'm really passionate about entrepreneurship overall, and there's a lot of avenues that one could take, such as, you know, becoming an Unreal Engine gaming developer and doing what these guys did, right? Anybody could do that. Take like a free Unreal Engine template and build on top of it. That would be really cool, right? So I say that because the more I actually talk about those things, this is something I've discovered over the last year, is that the more talent I'll be able to attract in those categories. So if you are a gaming developer, an engineer of any kind, please reach out to me. I want more people like that in my circle, in my team that we can build with, because again, these are great ideas to do from a foundational level. It's just like the execution and overall, I guess what they intended to do with it just didn't pan out at all. But you can do this in an ethical way that could create really cool entrepreneurship projects, especially in the gaming world with Unreal Engine, if you've never heard of Unreal Engine.
Team denied Gamma ever promised the carbon negative coin, which they repeatedly promised. They said, the coin you referred to never materialized, nor was it ever promised or delivered. Now, obviously, I thought I had a stroke. Here I was listening to Jesse promise it, but also he even put it in a video saying, explaining Gamma with our roadmap.
Ultimately, our efforts will lead to the Gamma token, the first ever carbon negative cryptocurrency powered by our sun. Together, we will create a sustainable future for all life on the planet we call home. Join the Discord today and meet your fellow crew members. Gamma.
I don't know how they could have been more clear. I think it's amazing to have them say now, we never promised that, only to find a roadmap video with you promising, in big letters, carbon negative cryptocurrency. It's just gaslighting at this point to pretend otherwise. What is funny is that Rabbit also mentions clean energy initiatives they say they did, like reducing gas fees. But again, that's not what they promised. They promised a clean energy grid. Jesse also promised it on Discord. His post was in Chinese, but he's clearly talking about OpenSea transactions being used to buy land to build the clean energy grid, which is going to help mine Gamma coins, which is exactly what he said on Clubhouse. I mean, these people are contradicting themselves in multiple languages. So I'll let you decide at the end of the day if the Rabbit team is being honest here. Towards the end, they even tried to tell me that Gamma, in our opinion, and as stated in the fact sheet, has no connection with Rabbit. But the fact sheet they're talking about, they sent me in a document called Gamma Project Fact Sheet. You can't just declare your own facts when it's the same company who made both things, the Rabbit and the Gamma Project. How can you say there's no connection? But after realizing no accountability would be taken and no refunds would be given by this project, I began to feel bad for Gamma investors. It made me wonder, what else is this team hiding? Well, I decided to find out.
He got one. Damn. Epic. Wow. Shout out to CoffeeZilla. We're going to have to watch the part 2 here one of these days. Not today because I got to go in a little bit. But man, what a great video and what an interesting story. And I got to say, you know, I was pretty early on to this brand right here. I don't remember exactly what I said in this video, but I remember I did mention it was on a pre-order sort of thing. So only time would tell if it would actually be as functional as they stated. And obviously, you know, not to be anticlimactic, but if you haven't watched the video yet, but obviously that didn't pan out. So really good video, really interesting story. Lots of things that we can take away from it. from a positive lens and obviously a lot from a negative lens. Let's choose the positive today. All right, that's going to be my challenge for you this week. And if you're a designer, by the way, that can do stuff like what Rabbit.tech has done, let's say from their landing page or something, right? They have a really clean landing page. Let me show it to you super quick before I go. Like if you can design something simple like this that looks this clean, please hit me up. Let's build some stuff, man. Let's do some actual good in this world, build some real some real projects. Now, I will say, like, despite this being a terrible product in practice, they've actually killed it, and it was an ambitious project, right? It was very ambitious to do what they set out to do, and you know, they didn't really succeed, but they did succeed at garnering a lot of attention, and I'm sure a lot of people now are inspired to build in this category, including myself. So again, that's the positive lens here, but that's about it. Peace.